If hard work guaranteed progress, then Black women would be the most advanced group on earth. And the issue has never been your capacity. It's simply been direction. Maintenance simply keeps you stable. Advancement or progress gives you an entirely new position where you have new choices, options, and ability to create. Progress is when energy creates options and not just temporary relief. Black women are powerful beyond measure. We stabilize families, we generate momentum, and we hold entire systems together. And our energy has been used to sustain whole worlds. But somewhere along the way, that power was trained to sustain everything and everyone except us. And that didn't happen because we were weak. It happened because our capacity made us useful. If you're a Black woman who works hard, lives well on paper, and still can't fully exhale, this space was created for you. It was created not to motivate you and definitely not to push you harder, but to help you see where your energy has been directed and why it hasn't relieved the pressure underneath it all. And it's important for me to note that the majority of the Black women that I speak to, that I know, and that I am in intimate relationship with are not lazy. As a group, we're not unmotivated, and we're definitely not avoiding responsibility. We're the ones holding everything together, whether that's at work, at home, financially, emotionally, or in the community. And yet and still, many of those women are still living with the fear that no matter how much they build, it could all disappear. And that leads me here. I want to ask you this. How often have you done everything right, but still found yourself feeling tense, anxious, or under constant pressure? I want to ask you, how many decisions have you made from a place of pressure instead of clarity and purpose? And how many times have you improved your life, leveling up on the outside, and yet still feeling as though there was no real stopping point? I just want to say that constant vigilance that you feel is not just ambition. It's what happens when your effort is spent constantly maintaining and not advancing forward. I want to get a little more precise with what I'm communicating here. Motion is activity. Progress is a change in position. You can be busy every single day, earning more, upgrading more, and managing even more, and still be standing in the same place. Because real progress isn't just about having nicer things. It's about having more authority over your life. Advancement or progress moves you closer to ownership. It moves you closer to leverage, and it moves you closer to choice. And ultimately, it moves you closer to a life where your survival isn't constantly being negotiated. Maintenance keeps the system running. Advancement moves you further away from what drains, exploits, and destabilizes you. So if you've been working hard and you still feel braced, vigilant, or one disruption away from losing it all, I want you to know that it isn't a personal failure. It's simply what happens when all of your effort is routed towards survival instead of sovereignty. Before we move any further, I want to be very clear. You were never powerless, not for one single moment. Your energy has always been sacred, and the issue has never been your capacity. It's simply been direction. When your energy is constantly being absorbed by maintaining survival, it's rare that your energy compounds into your own life. You solve many problems, but you don't necessarily build leverage. You respond to immediate needs, but you're not as focused on designing your future. And of course, you stay productive and in motion, but you may never really actualize an advancement in position. And over time, all of that creates an internal exhaustion that rest alone cannot fix. And the cost of this maintenance isn't just exhaustion. It's also what never gets built. It's the life that you keep postponing because there's always something that you need to handle first. Maintenance robs you of margin. It leaves you no space to pause, no space to choose, and no space to fully be unavailable to those things that harm you. It keeps you functional, but never fully free. And over time, it steals your clarity, your ability to hear yourself think, and confidence in your own inner voice. And the deepest cost is you begin organizing your entire life around what you can survive rather than what you were meant to create. And no, this is not about changing your entire life on a dime. This is not about creating shame around the choices that you've already made or where you stand today. This is about awareness, because the more that we can see clearly, the more we can begin to interrupt the pattern and move consciously towards what we actually desire. And it's okay if you start your journey and your progress feels quieter than what it feels like when you're in constant motion. Because the sustainable type of progress and forward movement that we're discussing should feel less frantic. We want to move away from hustle culture and burnout and constantly running our physical bodies into the ground. What we're aiming for is progress that feels and is more intentional. It looks like fewer tasks, but clearer outcomes. It definitely looks like less urgency, but stronger positioning. And we want to get to a place where we have less output, but more ownership. And I really want you to internalize the idea or belief that progress is when energy creates options and not just temporary relief. Reclaiming power and progress doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require you developing a brand new personality. Everything you need is already in you. I truly believe that. You just need a blueprint for directing your energy differently. So here's where you can start. Take the one area in your life where you are working the hardest right now. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, am I maintaining my survival here, or is this actually advancing me towards ownership, liberation, power, or the life I truly feel I deserve? And when you ask yourself this question, I want you to remember that in this context, maintenance simply keeps you stable. Advancement or progress gives you an entirely new position where you have new choices, options, and ability to create. Take your time and be honest with yourself, knowing that this information is neither right or wrong, good or bad. It's simply data that you are going to use in order to direct your energy with more precision and intention. So if you do sit down and ask yourself this question and you realize that nothing fundamentally changes in your life no matter how much energy you put in, I want you to know that you truly are not failing. The point of this question is just to simply know, okay, I'm aware that I'm maintaining something here, and that thing that you're maintaining is probably attached to your survival. And your survival is imperative. I don't want this information to come across as though it is not human nature to prioritize survival. Survival needs are real. Managing your survival makes sense. And I do understand that there are some of us who have really dire situations where maybe our safety is on the line or our housing is unstable. And in those contexts, I really do believe that you have to do what you have to do to stay alive. But in this context and this work, my heart is to focus on alleviating some of the stressors and pressures that have been conditioned into our lives so that we can begin to move them out of our lives and make one step forward until it compounds. I just wanted to make that little disclaimer because I know that there are some people who may feel like this sounds great, it sounds nice, but how can I think like this when I have real needs to meet? I get it. But at the end of the day, if we do want to see long-term sustainable progress, we have to start somewhere. And that's what this work is about. So I just want to say, you don't have to fix everything. You just have to notice where your energy keeps circling and not moving forward. This distinction alone can drastically change how you move from this point forward. And in the next video, we're going to talk about why self-doubt shows up after effort and why it's not a confidence issue at all. If this video helped you see your life more clearly, I would love it if you could type clarity in the comments. And I would also like to invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next and you get to be a part of this beautiful community that we are building here. because this isn't about working harder. It's about working towards something that actually changes the conditions that we're in and helping us move towards a reality that we actually deserve. So remember, Black women first, always.